even with Caitlyn still being banned against certain teams, the prio for the champion overall has fallen quite a bit. Obviously, it's been nerfed, but also even before we jumped from 12.2 to 12.3 and 4, it felt like more teams kind of seeing it as a bit of a bait pick, if that, and typically going Enchanters in the bot lane falls behind. It doesn't work out. Let's see if LNG goes for it, and they
anyway.
do. So
Right.
LNG not going to fall into the same scope as other teams. Again, I think back to the EDG game where they lost, being like a highlighting example of what can happen if this falls behind. But for Light and LNG specifically, they have played the champion 4 times. They have a 100% win rate. Light has a 47 KDA in those games.
I mean, that's a big deal. I want to see what Lumab partners with. Lux, Morgana still open available. Lux has been the go-to here, Lyric, and ways to poke out the lane. And while we get that build-up from LNG, on the other side of top esports, once again, looking pretty standard. This time, Knight instead of the Ahri, it will be the Rise.
And very interesting for them to just go for both of their soul lane picks in first rotation, right?
Yep.
Still going to put emphasis that the Graves could be a flex. We have seen it in jungle a little bit, but you would expect it to go up to that top side. Them taking the Rise now sets up for them maybe to have windows to potentially roam and try and shut down this Lux. And if they lock in the Lux and the Caitlyn, like you were highlighting and we were hitting on, right, that if this lane falls behind, if you die, if you lose Flash, it could be quite hard to play the way you want of sitting under enemy turret, just chunking down on those turret plates and getting your Caitlyn massively ahead. Pretty much warps the game to be around Caitlyn, in my opinion, when she is on the Rift.
And if the laning phase doesn't go too well, I mean, we kind of see it fall flat, right? So we know that the attention down the bottom lane matters. Off of Jack Love continuing on here on the Jinx, it'll be about what he gets as his support, because Mark's already lost the Nautilus. They've also lost a couple of the jungle pool. Lee Sin taken away by Top Esports. Now the Jarvan from LNG. And TN last game, it was the Xin Zhao. But, you know, again, we've seen things like the Hecarim come through. And especially with the Rise, Lyric, that feels like a perfect partnership.
Yeah, but still, I feel like it's going to depend a lot on what LNG get into the mid lane, right? Because if LNG can find something that does give them pressure, obviously you always could default back to something like an Orianna, but then sure you win in the isolated 1v1, but still could set up for the mid-jungle duo of Knight and TN to be able to get pressure together and walk towards that bottom lane. So far, it seems like for TS, they're wanting to take away global picks. Galio now taken off the board. Obviously, TF being the other thing that is open. Usually Rise, a pretty decent pick into the Twisted Fate, though, so I wonder if TS will actually ban that one out, and they do.
Making sure that they can't just double down into the bottom lane. So now Doomby, the question is there. I will say, if we're talking about mids that can move, like, this is the perfect game for Kled, but we get the Karma solo lane anyway. And I guess I'll take it, Lyric. I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, so far, right, their composition all about Siege, all about being able to kite back the engage coming out from TS. The setup there, I think, going to be extremely crucial, being able to get on objectives first, put the Caitlyn traps down, then Lux, Caitlyn, Karma, all just bombarding you with spells. For TS, I feel like you either have one of two ways to pivot, either, like, take it into the side lanes or try and get more all-in on your side. Because, right, if you're not able to close that gap, LNG will just be able to win. And they are going to get a little bit of both, right? They bring out the Viego for jungle. They do have a side lane set up with both the Rise and the Graves, and now cementing the all-in coming in the support role.
Not sure why I'm getting mad deja vu here for Top Esports, but it just feels kind of uncanny seeing this comp here again. Mark back on the Leona, that's probably what does it. Tien this time running the Viego in the jungle, and we find out what goes towards the top lane. They've got a Kate Lux, and they want to run Aurelia topside into the Graves here, Lyric.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious on this one, right? So they're clearly going to be running like a 1-4 composition. Foreman just clearing waves. You have a ton of wave clear on the side of LNG, and then Ala just kind of outputting his will onto Wayward in that side. We'll see if LNG can execute. I think this is a harder composition to be able to pull off. We've seen time and time again, right? Again, Caitlyn falls behind, or if the Irelia gets massively focused by Knight and Tien, can be quite useless later on. But point is, Top Esports now have a choice. Are they going to try and shut Ala down, or are they just going to look for these all-ins on bot side and just try to steamroll ahead and take Caitlyn Lux out of the game? We'll see where Tien and Knight want to go when we hit the Rift. But two very different win conditions, two very different styles coming through with these drafts.
Fun to see. Ala on the Aurelia as well fits into his condition. Remember, this top laner is all about champions that can bridge the gap to that high ceiling of his. Aurelia, Fiora, Camille. Ala is the type of player that takes margins. And against Wayward in that first game, Wayward had his way to a small degree in the lane. He gets his Graves again, but it's going to be a very different lane as LNG lead into this one with momentum. Lyric, remember, you talked about it opening up into our little segment here. It's LNG who can secure their playoff hopes here. for 2022 spring. All they need is a game win now, or even if it goes to a third. And LNG will be alongside V5, Weber Gaming, and RNG, who at the week 7 end will lock in their playoff opportunity. It's exciting. We only have 2 weeks to go after this one. And the fact that we're rounding out playoffs already and we're getting our strong teams with early security is kind of showing the power that they bring into the league.
Yeah, and for LNG, I think you do have a lot of power, especially early game and laning power with the draft that they have picked up, right? I think the idea, have Doumbé push in this mid lane, make sure that Ryze isn't able to move, put him under a lot of pressure, Light and Lumao pressuring those turret plates like we hit on down in bot side, get some visioning, covering your bot half of the map. That goes unpunished. Then we can start making our way to, since they have to push their objectives first, they get the Caitlyn traps down, they outpoke you, you aren't able to walk in, and everything is golden. The one question mark I feel like for LNG is that you have two side lanes who both kind of want attention. Again, Light and Luma not really wanting ganks, just needing cover, needing vision, needing information so they don't get caught enough to blow the summoners. Yep. And Irelia, once she does, hit the level 3 mark, and level 6, even more so, having that ability to all-in Wayward in that top lane matchup. And since a lot of your trade patterns are heavily on all-inning, stacking up your passive, going for these heavy trades, you typically do want your jungle around since it leaves you vulnerable to be ganked as well. So we're going to see how Tarzan kind of balances the dynamic of his top and bot lane.
Lyric, I want to point out, level 6, point in the back of my mind. I want to point out that junglers are starting on opposite sides of the map. Level 6, I'm pointing out here for Knight. Doomby's not going to be too much different. And I'm kind of interested to see how this mid lane starts off, because we know Karma's a bit of a lane bully. Early burst damage here, Eri's going to help achieve that. Definitely not going to hit the mark down in the bottom lane. But Doomby, access to the wave pushing here. I want you to run me through it a little bit deeper.
I mean, right, Karma's just one of those mindless, I can spam my abilities on the wave type champion and just neutralize. You have, potential to find good trades and set up for, a jungle gank to come and find the kill, right? But I wouldn't expect to see any type of solo kills happening in this mid lane matchup. Just be keeping the wave under turret for Knight and not giving him access to those roam timers that he would have later on. I feel like more critically is, like you said, right, junglers pathing to opposite sides of the map. Tarzan may be able to find an opportunity in Wayward. Wayward also did take Ignite rather than TP. So if he gets killed or if he gets forced to recall, he's going to have to walk straight up back to lane, can set him pretty far behind in terms of CS and start to open up a lead for Ala. So, and we're seeing it now. Here's Tarzan.
And the rarity with the Graves Ignite in the top lane. Now going to have to 1v2. Tarzan running in. Ala the priority. Again, this Aurelia now going to be happy as she gets the force duet perfectly down. Wayward against the turret. Gives it over. And Ala with first blood on such a champion.
And you can see now Ala and Tarzan going to go push this one in to deny so many minions from the side of Wayward, even the cannon already being a bit low, so should be able to lose at least a couple minions off of this push. Ala going to get a fantastic reset. The wave's going to bounce back into him, just opening up a lot of opportunities for the side of LNG. Wayward didn't blow any of his summoners, so at least we'll still have those to rely on as Tien winning the wings.
Being cheeky. Sky Split going to come down, though, and the early damage from that does enough, but maybe I'm wrong. Tien's going to take away the scuttle, and Tarzan just backs off, so at the very least here for top esports, getting some of that vision up in the top side after what was a very explosive start.
And something we didn't hit on, right, was we talked about the Ignite, and that's showing he wants to play aggressive, but also taking the PTA rather than Fleet Forward, showing he wants to double down on those trades and really just dominate in that 1v1. So getting the hint of that is Tien, though, still trying to play so aggressively on this top side. Tarzan, level 4.
Yeah, he's got a level lead, actually, running into Tien. This is going to be trouble. Sky Splitter does so much, and Tien will get the smite down, but Knight's not there in time. Running away, Doumbé pressures him as well. Now Knight's in a 1v3, but Ala can't close the gap. Tarzan and Doumbé chasing him down. Lumao with this. Roam does so much work. Man, we're saying free Iwandi, but Lumao's free on the mid lane himself.
I'm also just really surprised that Tien went for that play, because Ala's coming from base. The wave still was not being forced in by Wayward, so Ala actually ends up losing nothing in top lane, and you just end up getting 2 flashes away from the side of top esports. Doumbé did commit his to force Tien to flash over that wall, but still, massive trade up for the side of LNG, and Tarzan not losing his red buff either.
Both supports just coming to the mid lane to help push it out, now returning to their lane state. 80 carries kind of fighting it out down there, and not too much happening for now. So we'll leave with nothing more than a couple of flashes burnt. Doumbé's down, Knight's down, Tien's is now down as well. And Lyric, with that kind of little blunder, what we've seen in this series so far is Tien versus Tarzan has been pretty Tarzan favored as he runs Volibear in game 2 too.
Yeah, Tarzan having a nice start is behind in terms of camps and is clear right now, but we saw it was because he committed early on the top side. He's going for it right now, but Tien's also here.
It's up
Knight
to
being
the
able to
force
follow
duet.
up.
Wayward not going to run into it. Arlo doesn't get the stun up. Tien still being patient. Now drawing himself in. Ignites down. Wayward wants to take him in the 2v2. The Sky Splitter helping out. The flash away. Wayward being so aggressive, and Tien now showing off his damage with the Sheen. Top Esports got what they came for, making Arlo a little bit more scared up in top.
Yeah, and I like that LNG quickly realizing they need to back off from that play because they started to posture like they wanted to go in, but I assumed Doom be calling the whole time, hey, Knight's not here, Knight's moving, he's going to be there, it'll be a 3v2. He's able to get away as Knight, finding a bit of a nice trade onto Doonby on his way back in with Tien able to follow up.
Well, Lyric, as Top Esports in this early game isn't looking as great as we want to see, we got a fun stat down at the bottom. Yagao was the last person to play this Karma in the mid lane only since 2021, so it's not too far away. But it has been a little bit since we've seen Karma in the mid lane. Focused mainly in the bottom side as, she's had some quality of life changes.
Well, it was something we'd see a little bit before, right? You think whenever champions like Olaf or even Xin Zhao, which Xin Zhao has been very prevalent in the meta, but Karma always being a staple that typically would come out alongside those jungle picks and enable them to get into the fray and keep them healthy and be able to benefit from all the sustain that they're able to get. This time around, seeing it with Volibear is a bit of a different flavor is now panning back over to mid, Knight and Tien waiting in the wings for this kill. Doonby has no flash, so right, this could set up the kind of play they're looking for. You punish mid, find the kill, Knight has Realm Warp, you instantly pivot down towards bot or top to find, a follow-up kill off that.
Trigger pulled and away Tien goes. Doonby just playing the space quite nicely. Tarzan, he's waiting for him, shields him, and then they group together to clear some of this vision. So again, really highlight a play on this duo who we've been talking about a lot as Arla's going forward onto Wayward. He knows he ignites down Lyric, and he wants to try and take him.
Yeah, and Wayward even going for the more aggressive build, making his way probably towards the Eclipse. Last time around, right, did go towards the Immortal Shield Bow, wanting to get more aggressive early game stats with the build path, getting the Serrated Dirk with the setup he's already running with both Ignite and PTA. But still, like you said, Ala's still up in this matchup, and you even look at the minimap right now. I don't care about the minimap.
Yeah, because Tien's coming to the bottom lane. Lumao flashes away. Tien isn't able to bridge the gap again. Still level 5 here on the Viego, and he's been like this for a while, so just a bit unfortunate. Not sure if the wave's going to help him get there, but Lyric, it seems like play after play that Tien is getting so close to achieving.
Yeah, not able to find it, and this was going to hint at the minimap, is that we started to see Doonby and Tarzan start to move up towards the top side. Doonby right now just hovering to cover for Tarzan. Looks like no dive going to be set up. Lumao not going to find it.
Worth an attempt was pretty close.
Right, I mean, lost the cooldown, a little bit of mana for LNG's bot lane, maybe even looking for the reset after this as well. The key thing from the bot lane play is Lumao now having no flash, and despite picking the Caitlyn Lux bot lane, they haven't been able to, chunk out JackeyLove and Mark enough in terms of these trades to be able to push the wave in and hit turret freely.
I was going to ask you about how that changes the game state, because for Top Esports, it feels like now they're definitely coasting through with Knight having his ultimate available, JackeyLove having a great laning phase. For LNG, did it all just come down to this bottom lane finding a lead in the early game, and then that's how LNG continues to snowball?
I feel like as long as they're not set behind, giving over kills, losing CS, then you'll always still have the win condition to play around. Obviously not as you would expect, but we have Tarzan posturing for a fight, and all of LNG are here. JackeyLove's in bot.
And the patience is low as well. The eye facing towards Top Esports. As LNG run in, they have the numbers advantage for now. Smokescreen, great. Ulti worth an attempt, but Tarzan gets the smite down. Herald stolen right from under the nose of Top Esports, and JackeyLove is the only one to benefit here, it seems.
And JackeyLove going to be able to pick up some wave spots. So because of that, they're going to commit Light and Lumao to topside. So they are also picking up CS and EXP. Tarzan also has the Rift Herald. I wonder if they're just going to drop that one outright, considering they haven't really been able to get any damage done on this turret. But it looks like they're going to commit.
Wayward with not enough wave clear here. JackeyLove versus the members of LNG with a Herald. We get our split cam. Wayward sticking around, playing in front of the damage source to try and get the wave, cleared out. I've been drinking too much tea, Lyric, so get a bit of a burp, and they defend it well up in the top side. JackeyLove still pushing in, has to deal with Arla. It's a double flash. Knight a little bit slow. Doonby popping his first.
Yeah, and moving back up to the top side, I'm surprised LNG kind of faint like they're backing off and they're going to go for recalls, but fully commit. I feel like the defense from TS was really nice because you not only saw Mark hovering up topside to cover Wayward, you saw Knight actually covering JackeyLove in the bottom lane, so Ala wouldn't be able to walk forward. In the end, though, LNG are going to be able to benefit from their patience. They come back in, they drop the Herald, they're able to pick up that one. TS answering on the bottom side, though, do get themselves a Dragon.
Herald pushing down the turret and looking for a second charge on the top side, though. Way we're going to stop this in its tracks. So, Dragon for the 1k gold lead for LNG. And I don't know what stat we just saw, but LNG have 68% of it, Lyric. If that is a can of energy drink, then they've got 68% of the energy drink at Stockade.
That's true. We don't know the caffeine content of that energy drink either, so we don't know how aggressive they're feeling in this fight, or in potential future fights. But looking at items, right? We have 2 mythics already coming out for the side of LNG. Turbo Chem Tank coming out for Tarzan, and of course the Gale Force being here for Light.
Oh, peekaboo though. Lumao now going deep at the turret. The Solar Flare perfect on target. Give it over to JackeyLove. Mark unfortunately takes it though, after giving the space to his AD carry.
Yeah, Mark walking forward so aggressively, looking like to get a bit of vision down before they're going to push out the next wave. Does open up now for Top Esports to be able to take this turret. You even see LNG having to commit Doinby down to this bottom side to help cover.
Mark going for the Zenith Blade once again. The Realm Warp you mentioned, not taken here by Knight. Now in a 2v2 without the Rise in the middle of it. Mark has to dodge away from the ace in the hole. Light coming through, but the Death Rocket bigger. JackeyLove opens up, getting excited. And Tarzan runs away with the Stormbringer. Lumao now joining in after dying, but this is a really good sign of life from Top Esports in this second game.
And Top Esports committed 5 members to this play. Look at Wayward. Wayward made his way all the way down to bot side to be able to follow through as well. TS even started off with numbers advantage with Knight being able to follow up. So they find a kill. They aren't going to be able to translate that into a bot lane turret, but still, gold pretty much even. We're going to go straight into the replay of that. You see Mark, wanting to posture aggressively. He knows that Tien is right behind him. Knight not following through with that to cut off Doinby's escape route. They get some nice damage on, and Tien dodges. But look, 5 members strong here for TS. Super Mega Death Rocket comes out. They're able to keep pushing forward aggressively, but that one kill was all they got.
But it might not end. It might not end because Lumao over the wall wants a little bit more. Doinby's moving down here. Poke comes through just to give Light a bit more value on the turret plating. More shed over. That's 2 pieces taken. With 1 minute and 30 to spare before turret plating drops on down. Doinby going to stick around, and looks like LNG committing 3 members while JackeyLove moves mid-solo.
Yeah, JackeyLove going to be able to get, potentially some more plates. We do see Tarzan covering right now. For LNG, it's still all about opening up the spot side there. They're just keeping Doinby here, sharing a lot of XP, sharing a lot of gold, but in the end, not being able to do too much with both Knight and Mark being here to cover. There's no neutral objectives up on the map yet. It's kind of curious to see the team just commit to these lane assignments of keeping Rise in the bottom lane. But it does open up potentially for JackeyLove and Tien to roam down instead of a play onto Light.
I mean, I definitely want to see Tien finding a couple of resets here, or at least the pickoffs. That'll be good enough. Solar Flare, Gale Force out. Excuse me, that was the 90 caliber net. Not even needed on the activated item. But we're 1 minute 50 away from Dragon. Team still pressuring down on the bottom side. And Top Esports doubling down to break this turret, Lyric. 30 seconds before plating drops down. Feels like for now, it should just be able to be taken solo by JackeyLove, who they're injecting so much gold into.
Yeah, and it looks like LNG's response is going to be just leaving Ala to win out solo in that top side while trying to commit the resources to bot lane to counteract the push that wants to come out from TS. But still, not going to be able to do it this time around. LNG's team coming off of resets. TS finally able to match 1 turret to 1 turret. Dragon going to be coming up in 1 minute. We already have some solid vision set up bot side for the side of Top Esports. No real vision in top other than a few shallow wards in River, but Rift Herald will also be up soon. You can play off of all this pressure with that from the side of LNG and try and secure yourself that one to get a bit more of a gold lead. To where for Top Esports, I wonder if they're going to commit to this top side or just end up trading for a bot where, again, they already have some vision set up. They've already had their strength.
And Lyrica, I've had a little sneaky peek over at the LCK stream, and I've noticed the stream has ended. Or at least the games have ended. And as they come over to this stream, they must be thinking, man, I thought LPL was pretty bloody. We've only got 3 kills in 14 minutes, and as our new acquired fans jump on into this one, we're just going to set you up with the quick story that LNG, if they win this game, they win this series. LNG are going to be the 4th team in the LPL to lock themselves into playoffs. Tarzan, yet again, the hero of this team as he jumps onto Tien, or at least wants to. sped up by Doomby with an Inspire. LNG stay grouped as a 5-man. Dragon in 15, Jackilov heading forward, but look at the AoE burst. Sky Splitter to do the same as Knight, now fended off from the rest of his team, but Tarzan way too far forward, exploded with the help of Jackilov. Knight doing the same. It's a 5 versus 4 in front of the next objective.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny seeing Top Esports, the composition to kite out what LNG are doing, considering you have like mid-range champions all throughout your top side, melee champion in support. But for LNG, right, I mean, you don't have a lot of guaranteed engage. Your guaranteed engage is either Stormbringer into Q or Flash Q coming out from Tarzan. They weren't able to hit the binding. There was nothing else there.
Yep.
And Top Esports kind of playing off that one beautifully. Now going to be able to transfer into River. Haven't started Dragon, so Tarzan might have time to get here if LNG are still going to be looking for a contest. Some low mana bars across the board, though.
Solar Flare not up and available. Half the cooldown left available, and even on a ward, it won't matter. Top Esports with 2 early Dragons, a Mountain Soul to spawn. And that's going to give them a lot of windows here, Lyric. Again, you know, for a team composition that looks a little bit more standard than what LNG have provided us. Just feel like this team playing towards the objectives is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and LNG going to try and get a bit of siege onto this mid lane turret. They should be able to get this right. They should have to back off after this wave as Knight just, you know, throws out an EQ and is able to just clear that one straight away. Now we're going to go into the replay, so that was a nice time to pause for breath by me, go Lyric.
Nice.
And here again, we see LNG trying to find an engage, throughout the binding, that's not able to hit the E from the Irelia there as well, and then Knight just able to turn around, root up Tarzan, and pretty much kite out the play. So a lot of skill shots dodged by TES. I mean, that's something we didn't really hit on about LNG's composition, right? It is very skill shot dependent coming out across the board. Really only Tarzan, again, there with point and click abilities to try and start off fights, lock members down. That's why typically this comp, I think you don't just want to sit and skirmish in mid lane for no reason. It is a lot about trying to be in a place where top esports want to enter, give you an ease of access to just throw out those skill shots in a straight line, prevent them from walking in and guaranteeing your objective.
Nice,
so that kind
nice
of biting LNG in the butt right there.
And Lyric, you know, I had to look at what Doomby was picking up in this game, because while you talk about the nuke possibility, we do know there are supportive elements here. Doomby picking up a support item, and that means we're going to have Lumao with one as well. Lyric, my brain completely fried, trying to think about the Janna changes. Going to pause for now, though, because Lumao caught on out here. An instant flash shield of Daybreak. Death Rocket from Jackilov gets Lumao and Tarzan close to half HP. It'll open up a bit of pressure to push down the mid lane. As Herald comes through as well, they're looking for more than just outer.
Oh yeah, and Top Esports should be able to guarantee this, even setting up a dive on top.
Okay, well, wait, with that ballsy Doomby forcing the flash out. It gets in slow as well. Arla on the chase, but he needs to be sped up a hell of a lot more. The Vanguard's edge flash. Arla going a mile a minute here as Knight runs away. His flash still up and available. They want to turn this. They want to turn this. Top Esports want to turn the play, but spotted out on control ward, and LNG know they have to back.
LNG not going to fall for this. Top Esports going to be able to make away like bandits now. 3K gold lead for their side, sitting 2 dragons pretty. And, I mean, we've already kind of seen how team fights go, and especially if they are able to maintain this momentum going forward and be the one to aggressively push in like they have been doing. Again, look at the mini map, look at vision in the enemy jungle. For LNG, how do you enter? You're pretty much just forced for Tarzan to brute force his way in, which opens him up to being picked off because the other members of LNG, I mean, Karma, Caitlyn, Lux, not going to feel too safe following. Very squishy, very fragile. They will just get bursted out. So
okay.
I think this is a rough one for LNG. Your game plan pretty much is try to force mid with your 4-man core, you know, while all is off on the side. Hope you win that contest and hope you can then transfer that into river pressure first. But now having to respect so much the potential engages coming out from the side of TES.
I mean, Jackilov has rapid fire cannon, and that comp that wants to poke him down, it's going to be harder to get closer as Tarzan once again locked for a small period. Light Binding comes through, but Light and Lumao aren't going to commit forward. Knight being very aggressive through mid. Gets the root down the Everfrost as well. I like that Light has 2 shielders with him and just runs at a rise because of course he can.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, and we're going to see a bit of trading coming out on opposite sides of the map, though. With Ala pushing in bot, we see Wayward in top side, and TS looking for the engage.
The End's one running in as well, while Ala continues. Look, LNG just moving down to the bottom side, and Wayward still has an outer to deal with, while Ala has no one contesting on this inner. The wave's going to be thinned out, though, which slows down the play, and at least for now, inner's going to stay standing up. Wayward continues his onslaught, and both these side laners not even dealing with each other, just going to play PvE for a bit.
Still, though, I mean, we saw the side laning coming through. Top Esports is still the team that has 4 turrets to 2 on the opposite side, so not too much able to be found for the side of LNG. Doinby and Lumao were getting some nice poke onto Knight in the previous exchange in mid, which is why TS weren't able to just fully commit to the engage like they had wanted to. They are having some members come out onto the map first, as we can see right now. Jackie Love, Mark, and Tien all just forcing their way into River. So again, this brings us back to the conundrum of, as LNG, how do you really force your way into this composition? Who phase checks? You know it's going to be Tarzan, but are the other members going to be able to follow up before he is just bursted out?
Good question, because for Tarzan, 1.5 items here. Doomby has his Moonstone picked up, and second support item is well and truly on the way. Teleport being burned here from LNG 10 seconds before the soul point to be achieved by TES. LNG, that 5-man unit, Lyric, they're not getting their wish. Top Esports aren't walking at them in a choke. They have to go to them.
Yeah, LNG going to try and force their way in now.
Tarzan wants to steal. Tarzan still wants to steal, and he's been pretty aggressive. Ult not going to come through. He stands on the trap, and that's the third dragon here for Top Esports, turning for the fight. The Heartbreaker route, the ultimate, the final spark, the Sulfur in the back line. Everything being used. Tarzan flushing away from the Death Rocket, and Jaculov ain't going to get his reset. The binding on top of Mark. It's high and bye to old Mark. Light picks up the kill, but the dragon may be worth as we look towards late.
And now I want to see, do LNG just turn to the Baron here? You see Top Esports, they're the ones pinging the Baron, kind of expecting it to happen. LNG going to push in this wave. We'll have numbers advantage to force this fight. 2 ultimates down on their side. You still have key summoners on your AD carry. Has both cleanse and flash up to keep light safe, to try to outplay in these fights.
Things are now coming down. LNG going to do this real quick. It's a play to the wrong King Aurelia. Light as well, popping down the damage, but not going to be quick enough where Top Esports are too far away. Tien over the wall. He got caught out here in game number 1 in the exact same position. He's walking in once again over the Vanguard's edge. Tien does not learn from his mistakes. As Way with the same LNG with an easy turn. The final spark, and Arla for his final kill of the fight. LNG back on board despite not even getting the Baron.
Yeah, and it was a great decision coming from LNG, because we saw they actually weren't burning the Baron all that fast. Members of Top Esports able to get there. They have some AoE damage coming out from the Rise and the Jinx, and they're like, hey, let's commit to the turn, pick up a kill for that. They're going to get more gold. They're going to be able to come on the map with tempo, considering they have numbers advantage. And we're going to see here, for TS, they're trying to find the fight, but they get locked down. The engage was successfully kited by the side of LNG, with Tarzan able to get away with a slick flash in the end of this one, and then Light following forward aggressively in such a clutch binding coming out from Lumao to guarantee they pick up that 1 kill.
Well, at least for LNG on the back end, we didn't see, but you'll saw in lifetime that we got the trade off. Second item picked up for Arla after getting the kill as well. Worth mentioning the Gore Drinker coming through, so another front line that has a lot of shielding to work with, and will still have the damage to puncture through people like Knight and Jaculov this early in the game. Lyric, we're at a point where Gold is 2K in the lead here for Top Esports. They have a Mountain Soul on the way. Walk me through once again how simple it is and what they have to do to make sure that LNG can't clutch this game.
I mean, for Top Esports, right? I think with the fact that you're the team on Soul Point, you kind of expect them just to be trying to answer waves, neutralize for the next 2.5 minutes, make your way into Dragon. And, I mean, this time around, just, well, apparently LNG don't want to wait for that.
No,
they're starting
don't.
up a Baron.
Forget that. Let's go again here for Doomby. Remember that his shielding's going to have to come in clutch on people like Arla and Light. But maybe not an important point, as again, it's this same choke. This same choke LNG know the whole series long. Top Esports have been walking through. Pixel Brush is so easy to abuse. Jaculov's dead!
Oh, Jaculov's dead!
Ace in the hole! And Jaculov's been buried in one. The Knight running away, the Light binding again. But Top Esports have LNG's health bars at an absolute low point. Tien looking for his resets as Mark thinking about the engage. There's the Realm Warp for Knight, jumps in, gets out. And LNG trading off 1 for 2 as Top Esports walk into the same trap again, Lyric.
Yeah, LNG keep trading up in these situations. You almost saw how it could turn dire in an extended skirmish when Lumao did go forward in the end, with just how squishy they are. And obviously Top Esports' 3 members left open are so durable. I mean, Fimbulwinter already on Knight, Tien also having some nice health under his belt. We're going to go straight into the replay of what happened. Like you said, setting up for that choke, setting up for the engage to come out. Ala instantly flashing with the ultimate, the binding hit from Lux as well. Ace in the hole to finish it off. You get that numbers advantage. They are able to trade off onto Ala right away. Wayward did also go down at the same time. So I got a little bit scared. Lumao going in. Look at the amount of damage he takes from Knight, how tanky and durable Knight is. LNG, though, once they do get some cooldowns up, they are able to bring Tarzan back from his stopwatch. They are able to aggressively chase forward, but with the Realm Warp, Knight will be able to get away.
Yeah, only just, though. It's worth mentioning that gold lead I mentioned before was 2K. Now we're at 1.5, and for top esports, nothing that's holding grip on this game apart from those dragons. One which will be up in about 40 seconds. LNG have none of Solar Flare. Forces Doomby to flash. Another summoner down in Lyric. We have 4 of those flashes on LNG that are timing out.
Yeah, 4 flashes. Top esports, though, instantly going to pivot to this Baron. They're going to
the
commit. They're
same
just trying
trap.
to bait it. They have full vision control.
The same trap. Lumao walks into it. An instant flash away. That's a pick. That's a reset. A light binding to be taken. But Tien now approaches his other angles. The Death Rocket flies into LNG. Doomby gets the speed up. LNG are walking back, but numbers advantage very real as LNG decide what to do.
Yeah, and we saw there, right, what we were hitting on earlier in terms of what do you do when top esports control an area that you want to enter? Tarzan pretty much having to be the one to face check. Luma walking in too far forward, gets caught out immediately.
What is with this spot? They just love setting up trap. Both teams have trapped around Pixel, around side brush to mid, around the Baron Lyric. They're just going to rinse and repeat.
Yeah, almost like when the enemy team starts Baron, you have to walk in and check.
Oh.
Great job coming out from both TS and LNG to make these picks possible. Dragon, though, is up now. Top esports going to pivot to mid, push in this wave, and should be able to get the same semblance of control. Heck, even going faster with the Realm Warp.
Yeah, immediately there. Starts it up, and yeah, Lyric is just down. Jackie Love and Knight going to make it so. Tarzan runs at them, but the Mountain Soul acquired. Nice little shield to run them through the rest of this game at LNG. You know what? Guess where they're going back to.
We're going to see it again, Hysterics. We're gonna see the trap set once again. This time, though, he is having a massive shield to be able to deal with some of the bursts and some of the poke coming out. Knight having to TP in immediately. Mark's not here, though, and Mark is the consistent point of engage for TES.
Yeah, he really is. Mark off the left wing, you can see coming up blue buff wall. Collateral damage comes through. They're still trying to burst it out. Binding connects, but the Soul Flare on the back end from Mark as Tien's in once again. It's going to give a reset. Heartbreaker enables Harlow to go down, and 5 versus 4 with Tien ready to chase it forward. Doomby and Light, they're at the front lines for now, but they're not going to do enough. Top esports say forget the Baron. Let's keep fighting.
I like how TS don't let it go down to a 50-50 smite because Tarzan did have both flash and smite up if that did happen. Could completely give LNG a free objective for no reason. TS pivoting to taking away jungle camps, getting the push into mid lane. And seems like they're actually going to pivot right back to Baron.
Okay, this Baron, this game has been crazy. Here comes the TP in the brush. It's Tarzan, Lumao, Doomby, and Light. 4 members, Baron stops, and this is just bloody ridiculous.
Yeah, and you feel like top esports that scenario could have been like, hey, let's back off. Let's get our side waves in order. You look at top especially getting down and pushed out.
They're in trouble.
Fight!
Tarzan trying to kite it away, but he's rooted down, stuck down. Mark misses the Zenith Blade. Knight with the Everfrost that falls a bit short. And both teams decide it's time to 5v5 consistently. And the last 8 minutes around this purple worm have just been so much fun.
See, but thank God TS finally fully back off and like, hey, again, let's answer this wave in top. Let's get this pushed out so they don't have an angle to enter from where we don't have vision and we don't see them.
Arla and Doomby are going to be the only ones here. Lyric, Tarzan's nowhere nearby. Wayward jumping over. They're going to take the 5 versus 2 as running into a route Doomby just without the rest of his team. Now again, 5 versus 4.
Let's go. 3 minutes of Baron baits in the LPL,
like
baby.
5.
TS going for it again.
Oh, Tarzan's going to steal it as well. Wait for it. They're going to flip it over, but Wayward stops him against the wall, rooted up. Never mind about the steal, but Light steals it. The bounty, the Baron, everything in between. LNG had no business stealing that Baron from Tien.
I just can't believe the Light pulled it through. Was it with the Q? I believe it was with the Q. I mean, top esports, they get 3 kills off of it. I don't think LNG should be able to do too much with this Baron, but that is absolutely crazy. I mean, for top esports, they did right. They were zoning out the jungler. The root came out. They bursted him off. But let's follow Light here and see exactly how he does it. Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be.
Oh, the smite.
There it is.
62
a little bit
HP.
too early.
A
little bit too early coming out from Tien, and he just tees it up for Light on the opposite side. Let's remember, him and Doomby spent many years together. I still expect top esports to win this game, but maybe wanting to give it his old bro a fighting chance.
Okay. somewhat of the sense. Light, though, that Q, 62-63, like, whatever it was low enough for that Q to seal it away, and LNG at least keep the game going on. And Lyric, you know, we have a Mountain Soul, but Elder is always flipping opportunity. So while you still expect Top Esports to win the game, Elder is built for the games to end quickly, and with the way we've been 5v5ing, I'm guessing we're going to do that same dance around the next Dragon.
And at least for the side of LNG, you have Baron for a minute 30, Dragon's up in about 210, so can try and, you know, make sure that no like pushes come out from Top Esports. You can just kind of sit in your lanes, clear wards, and then use that to try and gain some semblance of pressure back about, like, you know, 40 seconds before the Dragon comes up, and try and have some vision down in that river, right? Because I feel like that's where we've really seen this LNG composition punish when Top Esports do control that space first. Again, not really having anyone who could just easily walk in. We've seen both Tarzan and Lumao on 2 separate occasions blown up when they are just trying to brute force their way into the river.
I mean, Lumao, you know, each and every time, it's a Crown Lux coming through. It's still been bursted immediately and caught out by things like the Solar Flare, the Zenith Blade. It's the return here from Light Binding versus what Mark can throw out. And while we're talking about items, just quickly note, Knight on his 3-item rise, Frozen Heart's been picked up. We do have ourselves a Serpent's Fang in the top lane here for Wayward. Again, no hold break in this game. And it makes sense why we're seeing that extra little bit of 5v5. All of the same 3-item Aurelia here and diving.
Oh,
Jackie
Love's
Love
dead!
Caught out a GA, the teleport coming through, but they're going to be split. Knight's by himself, Jackie Love's dead, and now getting bursted down. Top Esports against the Baroned up LNG are going in one by one, and Arla takes no damage. Tarzan in it as well. Tiana, Mark biting the dust. Lyric, that was just horrible.
And let's remember that whole fight was under Top Esports Tower. It was pretty much a 6v5 for the side of TES. LNG now, I mean, 30-second death timers.
What?
Doesn't look like they're pushing powers too fast, so I don't think they should be able to end, but at least going to get a huge gold injection of this. Heck, right, they were just getting objective bounties. They are now ahead in gold.
They're ahead in gold, and they've still got objective bounties for the next 10 seconds. I'm assuming that's going to fall off. We are 12.4, so yeah, that should fall off shortly. But nevertheless, as we look at the replay here, Jackulov so deep against an Aurelia with a full minion wave.
I mean, that was just so great by Ala to recognize the opportunity, put the E down, goes for all the Qs, throws down the second version to be able to get the stun. Cleanse comes out, and he's just in too deep. You see Lumao going down right away, and I thought this was going to be doomed for LNG with Light also following not far behind. All these members of Top Esports here, but like you said, Ala just not taking any damage, and more importantly, we have an Elder fight to get ready for.
Yeah, we do, and we have a GA on Ala as well. Good 2 Everfrost here from Knight. Still putting out a lot of damage as tank rise, but Arla going in once again, frontlining with the Zap Flash. Arla turns around the Vanguard's edge, hovers over Jackulov. He doesn't have his GA from the last fight. He has to survive, but he gets a reset, and now grouped up. Top Esports still with the better team fighters. Light trades off with the enemy jungler. Arla can't get near Jackulov. Wayward doesn't die. Knight flushing around in circles over Doomby and Lumao. There ain't enough damage for them to survive, and as Wayward blocks this one, or at least it's Mark, Top Esports send it right back.
I gotta say, though, that felt so desperate coming out from LNG. They were trying so hard to get on a Jackulov.
And I'd say desperate from the top laner as well, but at least this time, Jackulov's going to get a reset. Knight joins on in, and Elder begins. Now Mark walking forward. Light destroys him, though. And the support not expecting it. Top Esports only have Knight and Jackulov versus Light. Let's see if we get Kira again. Jackulov walking forward. We need to see more damage come through. Knight's next, but Light needs to run into this one. Again, Cleanse comes through. He tries. Jackulov gets the movement speed. Rocket for the auto. And in the end, it's Top Esports who are all about this game too.
Man, you got to commend Light for the effort, though, right? He was trying so hard to make that work. And we're going to see in this replay, right? LNG, again, this engage just feels so desperate. Sees an angle to try to get back there, but instantly just gets rooted down, tries to flash to follow up with the damage, but never able to close the distance. The peel always there for the side of Top Esports. And you look at Knight on the opposite side of the fight. He's untouched. He's on the back line of LNG. They're all ignoring him, just trying to kill the front-facing members for Top Esports. Get so much damage off, and they're able to wipe the rest of these members. Again, it is doing me in Light who get away. Light almost turning it around. but in the end, it is all for naught. Now with Elder on the side of top esports.
And this Elder's going to do so much. Like, Knight, you can see, finding a quick pick here onto Arla, but still enough damage.
And he's so tanky, because when you look at the damage profile on the side of LNG, right, you're pretty much relying all on AD, because Caitlyn and I really are your big damage dealers. So such easy itemization coming through for the side of TS, right? That's why Vimble Winter straight into the Frozen Heart for Knight, and how little damage he really is taking from these members.
They're going to keep charging in. Knight is going to be getting towards that 4th item very shortly. 4th item coming up for Wayward, but I'm not sure if it happens before the game's end. As Realm Warp in, where do we go? Towards mid. They brought the minion wave with them as well. It's Baroned up. And top esports just taking a different route to start blasting open the base.
You know, there was no way this was going to be a 2-0, right? We both looked at the series. We knew it couldn't be a 2-0. Can LNG prove us wrong? Can LNG somehow find a way? Does someone from TS make a mistake, look for the engage, you find the pick, you can guarantee your playoff spot here and now? I don't think so. Top esports being pretty methodical with the end here. Staying grouped up, Knight split pushing in mid to try to draw some attention.
Jackie Love has the range now as well. One auto doing quite a bit of work in the backside. The burn down for another 2 minutes. They have to deal with this Elder, or at least the Baron buff, excuse me. It's 20 seconds on the Elder buff here, Lyrics. So for top esports, this could be the last play where they abuse the advantage of this Dragon, and LNG paying the respect themselves, pulling away.
They're still going to keep, top esports still going to keep going though. Again, Knight pushing in that wave in mid. They still have Baroned up minions.
They do it.
And, oh, Jackie Love just doing so much.
Solar Flare come through. That's beautiful. Light's just dead. Immediately dead. A quick reset here as well. As Tian doesn't care about losing his life because Jackie Love getting excited again. Jinx late game. An easy story to sell. As for top esports, it was a bit cut and dry at points. It was a bit back and forth. But we still go to a game number 3 as we realm warp into the base. Top esports won it all. And they'll take us to a beautiful game number 3.
Yeah, top esports able to bring it back. We kind of hit on some of the difficulties with LNG's composition. We saw them in that game, again, not being able to just blindly walk in, not really having a ton of engage there. You're pretty much